Hello, Oklahoma. My name is Harry James Taylor, and this is a breakdown of our comeback game after the Kansas State game. We were upset. We're upset right now, still pretty mad. Well, so is the team. They're going to try to get back at the Red Raiders of Texas Tech, and this is the pregame show, only right here on 1982 Boomer Sooner. All right, guys. Well, let's do this thing, and it's going to be pretty easy to break down this series because it's fun. The Sooner Nation has not won in Lubbock since the 03 version. Jason White and the Donley in the back of the end zone. This is also where the Sooners have the worst road record in the Stoops era in Lubbock. That's just some things to know for the pregame set. Last time out, last game, these two teams both played. Of course, as we all know by now, and if you don't know, you've been living under a rock. Oklahoma was stunned and upset in Norman by Kansas State. The second home loss for Landry Jones in his 4 years as a starting quarterback. Kansas State wins in Norman 24-19, 2 weekends ago. As far as Texas Tech's concerned, last night they held off Iowa State with a late touchdown, 24-13. Texas Tech, guns up, baby. Congratulations to them. A big road win for them, where it is not easy to win on the road. Just ask Oklahoma State and Nebraska over the last couple of years. As far as this series is concerned, last time out, if you don't know about this one, you've also been living under a rock. This was the first of the 2 losses by Landry Jones. 41-38 win in Norman by Texas Tech. The biggest win in the Stoops era for Tommy Tuberville's version of Texas Tech. Well, you can't look past it. It's the only win that he's had over Oklahoma. Oh, and by the way, Oklahoma was pretty good that year. They were ranked number 1 all year going into that game. They come in, they knock on the door, and they come swinging. Oklahoma is upset 41-38 in Norman. The biggest win for Oklahoma in the series, overall series, with Texas Tech, I'm going to say it here. Texas Tech was the number 2 team in college football. And we beat them up 62-21, giving us the 2008 Big 12 title and Big 12 invite, where we were later beaten by Florida. But that was a big win for Stoops in that era. King me, baby! Barry Switzer. His words of encouragement aren't really of encouragement. The King Me Baby quote of the night is right here. He said it to the Tulsa World. He says, well, Oklahoma, they just don't have the talent. We're not as good as we have been. We don't have the Tommy Harrises or the Gerald McCoys squatting in the middle of the defensive line. He says sometimes you don't want the experienced players coming back every year. He says that he experienced that personally. He says he's got the whole team coming back. Well, then he says, well, I'm not too darn sure. I'd rather have some darn sophomores rather than have Leroy Selmon and Dewey Selmon as sophomores than a bunch of fifth-year seniors. I'd rather have Tommy Harris as a freshman than have a bunch of five-year seniors that are at average defensive line. Good job, Barry. I'm pretty sure R.J. Washington and those guys are hurt by what the King said. But as far as the OU King's concerned, he can't be more right. We need more defensive line pressure. Nothing can be more permanent on that than what happened last weekend in Norman against the Wildcats. We didn't even sack the guy once. When the previous year, we sacked him like 6 or 8 times. Now, given he's learned, he's gotten better over the offensive line. Over the year, he's gotten better. He learned. But still, you should at least be able to get to a guy that you got to 8 times. You should at least be able to get to him once. If you're an Oklahoma, true Oklahoma defensive line. Nice job, Barry. I'm proud of you for saying that, kid. Mad Ops. By the way, this guy, he's not going to go to Arkansas. His head coaching days are over. I'm not going to say he doesn't much like to spread it out, but he's not the Tyler Wilson kind of quarterback. Just ask one of my heroes. I love him to death. He's an Oklahoma guy. He wore the star for my NFL team, the Dallas Cowboys, Troy Aikman. But hey, guess what? Things didn't work out to him too well with Barry Switzer at Oklahoma, did he? Did it? No. He tore up his ACL, broke his ankle, I do believe, or something to that extremity. He left. He went to UCLA and won a national championship. That offense doesn't work with Barry Switzer. Now, if you're willing to wait, if you're willing to wait it out and you want a 70-year-old coach, go ahead, for all I care. But last time I checked, Arkansas was still a pretty good team. And I don't think they're going to want to change that. Division titles for both of these teams, Texas Tech and Oklahoma. Texas Tech has the one in 2008 that they tied with Oklahoma and won along with Texas. Oklahoma ended up going to the title. Oklahoma ended up winning the title. Oklahoma also got Oklahoma Conference and Divisional titles. They've got 8 of them. Oklahoma, of course, their inaugural one with Bob Stoops in 08. They have it 2 years later in 02. They have it the next year in 03 and the 04. Those 03 and 04 is the 2 national championship years. They have it in 06, 07, and 08 when they tied with Tech. And most recently in 2010 when they played that. Bowl games under Tommy Tuberville. He went to one with Ole Miss. He got 2 invites, 1-0. 5-8. He went 5-3 at Auburn, and of course 1-0 at Texas Tech. Of course, the biggest win at Texas Tech was the only win for Tech in a bowl game. It was the inaugural Ticket City Bowl in the Cotton Bowl. I guess you still call it the Cotton Bowl, the OU Texas Bowl now, because the Cotton Bowl's been moved to Arlington. Northwestern / Texas Tech. Texas Tech won it by a touchdown, Northwestern 38. Texas Tech 45. Bob Stoops is 7-6 with 13 invites. The 2010 year that they went to the Ticket City Bowl. Of course, Oklahoma went to the Fiesta Bowl. Oklahoma and the University of Connecticut. UConn loses to Oklahoma 48-20. Oklahoma takes home the Big 12 and Fiesta Bowl crown that year. Injury updates for Oklahoma. Of course, if you don't know already about all the suspensions and all that, you got Jazz Reynolds, you got Trey Franks, those guys. So I'm not going to mention those guys every single week since you guys already know about them. So I'm just going to mention the new lists that are out. Torian Peterson's on that list. He's questionable because of academic problems. Defensive end linebacker Chaz Nelson is out indefinitely for undisclosed reasoning. Casey Walker, he came back the other night against Texas Tech. He's probable with personal issues. He could play against Texas Tech. And this is the one that's going to hurt. Not that we don't have enough fullbacks on this team with Ripkowski, with Millard. But the third guy on that list, Marshall Munsell, out with an ACL tear. It happened the Monday after we lost to Texas Tech in a special teams drill. That's really going to hurt the fullback depth. But it's not like we don't have any fullbacks. Like I said, we still have Ripkowski, and we do still have the big stud in Trey Millard. Texas Tech injuries and suspensions. They include running back DeAndre Washington, out for the season with his own personal knee injury. Knee injury. Uriel Johnson left the team for personal reasons. He's one of their deep safeties. One of their linebackers, Daniel Cobb, has been dismissed from the team for legal allegations. On the offensive line, this will make Barry Switzer happy because this is in direct effect to what he said at Tulsa, to the Tulsa World about the defensive line not getting enough pressure and all that good stuff. Well, their depth for Texas Tech just got inched a little lower because Tony Morales is questionable for the Saturday game. He's out with a knee injury. Linebackers out indefinitely for undisclosed reason will be Michael Starks, the defensive lineman for the Double T. And finally, Austin Stewart, a defensive back, will be out Saturday's game versus Oklahoma for academic reasons. Now, all that's out of the way. The last part of my pre-show will be the 3 must-dos if you want to win this game. First must-do is you've got to get the ball to more than just... You got to spread the ball out, Landry. For goodness sakes. Kenny Stills is a good receiver with the mohawk and all. He looks cool with it. But he can't be your only target, buddy. You got to have more than that. So he can't be your only target. Defensively, we've got to get to that quarterback. That quarterback is a good quarterback. We know how good he does. Heck, he scored 41 points on a team that barely... It's the only time that a Brent Venables defense gave up 41 points in the Stoops era. It's pretty impressive. So we know he can do that. So, offensively, you got to get more than just Kenny Stills involved. And defensively, you've got to do what I know that you can do, Oklahoma. This is why you brought Mike Stoops back, to shut down the spread. And there will be no bigger game to do that than right here. When, like I said, last time out in Norman, they scored 41 points. And by the way, they've beaten you 2 of the last 3 times you played them. And you haven't beaten them there since 03. So go in there, send a message. And the third thing, win each quarter. That was important to do against Texas. That's important to do against Texas Tech. Actually, no. Here. It would be more realistic to do this But I know it's not going to happen. But it'd be much more cool if you could. And you used to be able to. Oklahoma used to be able to could go down there and score on every possession. Score on every possession. Score on every possession. Touchdown or field goal. Touchdown or field goal. Touchdown or field goal. They're not that Oklahoma anymore. I understand that. But they got to win each quarter now. And defensively, like I said, get turnovers, guys. Turnovers, turnovers, turnovers. This guy's going to, as many points as he scored, 41, he's probably going to throw it up 41 times. Pick the ball off. Fumble. Strip the football. Get some turnovers. Get Landry the ball. And Landry, keep up the good work, buddy. A lot of people have thrown a lot of stuff at you the last couple of days. I haven't. I still love you. I understand that the team around you wasn't that great. You know, the first one you kind of forced. The second turnover with a linebacker coming in from your blind side, you can't help that. Your offensive line has to protect you on that. I understand that. So, I believe in you. Go out there, Landry, and do what you do. Do what I know that you can do. And for all the fans, don't give up. Don't give up on this team. Don't give up on this guy. He's 2 wins away from being the all-time winningest quarterback in Sooner history. That's not easy. We're lucky to have him back one more year. I am behind Landry 120%. I hope you are too, Sooner fans, because he needs all the support he can get. And with that being said, I'm out. I'll see you guys next weekend for when I break down the different games in the Big 12 and around the national scene. And for this one, the pregame, it'll be time for the hate series. The University of Texas and the University of Oklahoma. By the way, and I know that you're probably not supposed to do this with this being an OU broadcast, but I got to say it. Matt Brown in Texas, congratulations. Hard fought win. That has not been done, winning in Stillwater, since we did it, that 2010 year that we won the Big 12 championship. It was a hard-fought game, and I just hope that Oklahoma is ready to bring it, because obviously Texas is. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for watching, and as always, Boomer Sooner!